Hey folks, this is Matt once again, and I wanted to give thanks and a Vaya Con Dios to a horror talk radio show called Deadpit. I will be honest, I have not listened to their show for a little while, just been busy with my own thing, my own life, and so forth. But for those who don't know, Deadpit.com was a horror talk radio show with two very nice guys, the Creepy Kentuckian and Uncle Bill, Wes and Aaron. And recently, at the end of January, they had their not only 10-year anniversary, but it was their final show. And I grew up with these guys when I was in Texas, and I moved to Iowa around 2006. I moved back. It was got this not this, but got a laptop computer in order to help with the job situation at that point after moving. And when I'm out there looking, I would sit here, be on the computer, and one of the things I found was Deadpit. And I would listen to every single show. They were funny. They were talking about how much all these remakes were sucking, and even if I didn't agree with them, they were funny as hell. And I would I remember they had this thing where you could send in questions, and I would ask questions upon questions, and sometimes too much, like paragraphs worth, which was even they said is a bit too much. And that was around the time I just started making videos, and then one day I remember they're talking on their horror talk radio, and they mentioned me. This is like when I was on my very first account here back in 2006, 2007, and they mentioned me. It's like, holy shit, that was really cool of them. They didn't have to do that. And I do think, really do think that a lot of people who found me was because it did Pit. And I have to always thank them for that. That's why it's sad, but it's understandable. When I saw that and listened to the last show, I even before I listened to it, I understood because 10 years is a long time and life gets you by. I know Uncle Bill, he has a wife and a kid, and Wes has a job. I think he mentioned is like that he's working till like 7 p.m. and he's got a woman as well, and it's life in general. And plus, the horror genre is in a shit fest today. I maintain Eli Roth had something to do with it because I think it's funny that in 2006 they were talking about Cabin Fever, and then they closed when Cabin Fever remake is coming out. So, and of course, I'm not being serious about that. Well, I am. Eli Roth had nothing to do with this, but who knows? Maybe secretly Eli Roth is to blame. You can blame Eli Roth, blame him for everything. I just found it a coincidence, but I know that in all seriousness, it's because life gets busy. Life sort of catches up with a lot of people, and that's perfectly understandable. But it's one of those things. It's just like, man, for 10 years, I've unfortunately haven't had a chance to talk with them as much as I would like to. But I've been busy, and then you don't want to bother them, and then they got a lot of stuff going on. But I've always been a supporter of them. Again, when I first heard my name on it, that was really cool. They didn't have to do that. At one point, they actually invited me to be part of the show, like do little like weekly rants, and I stopped that pretty quickly. Like I did like once or twice, but I know some people got mad, and I actually got one death threat out of it. But they were cool. They're like, no, we want you here. Keep going. But I'm like, I don't want to hurt the show. I don't want to be the part of the show where people click off. Because I felt that's a disservice to what they do. Because they were hilarious. They always treated me right. I remember when I downloaded a commentary and then the MP3 file got fucked up, one of their fan commentaries. And he was like, "Oh, I'm very sorry about that." And he sent me another one with no charge. He sent me It wasn't like, oh, you're full of shit or this and that. No, he sent me, hey, I'm sorry that didn't work out for you. Actually, it's not that it didn't work. It's that I had on my old computer, then my computer fucked up, and I didn't have it anymore. And he sent me it again, and he believed me, and he was nice about it, and he didn't have to do that. Uncle Bill, Uncle Bill. I mean, this poster here is thanks to him. I have a Jacob's Ladder poster, thanks to Uncle Bill. He was nice enough to send that to me as just a gift. So yeah, this poster here is thanks to Uncle Bill. And man, there's just so many memories. The interviews with Harry Manfredini and Tom Savini, which some funny stories they have about Tom Savini being a dick. Of course, when they got John Carpenter and George Romero, that was a big plus for them. I remember their fights with Fangoria Radio, and Fangoria Radio seemed like it stole Deadpit's idea, and Dee Snider, and sort of the back and forth they were having with that. Then Sean Clark. Before Sean Clark really got into, I mean, this is before when Sean Clark was doing some the Scream Factory stuff. This is the very early Sean Clark when it was just what you saw in the Halloween 25 Years of Terror. And that's where I heard the story that Sean Clark told on Deadpit about how uh, the real Jason of Part 2 came up to Warrington Gillette and said, "Who the fuck do you sign my picture?" I've told that to some of my friends, and that's because of Deadpit. Um, they've just always been kind to me. Again, haven't had a chance to talk with them too much. I remember when they did, I forget what the hell that website was called, where it was a chat, and people could go on and chat. I remember one time I actually won a DVD. I believe it was Faces of Death. I still have that DVD, Faces of Death. So I'm like, okay, let me see if I win, and then I won, and you know, I still have the DVD. It was a nice gift. But yeah, it was always a pleasure. The very few times I've been able to chat with them on Facebook, I just don't want to bother people because I know how it is to be busy. It's just not enough time during the day. But I wish I looked on there sooner. It's just a lot of stuff going on the past month, just a lot of personal stuff, but that's not what it's about. So I wasn't paying as much attention. I wish I did, because I wish I would have given a phone call on the last show. I remember when they had the forum, I was there as Rambo fan, and I would get in some argument with some people on the forum, and some people were really nice to me. Um, I remember, God, why can't I remember her name? She's really into the Blair Witch and Japanese horror films. Dana. Was it Dana? I believe it was Dana. She was very kind to me, and just a lot of good people. A lot of good people. And no, Kim. It was Kim. No, I know it was Kim, not Dana. Kim. It was Kim. Her name was Kim. Kim Malay. She was very nice. I'm horrible with names. So sometimes, even when I do a review, literally I have to type down just a name just so I remember, because I've always been bad with names. But just a lot of fun, a lot of great shows, retrospectives. And again, I don't always agree with those guys, but they're entertaining to listen to for me. And again, they've always treated me right. And again, I really do believe that there are a lot of people who would not have found me if it wasn't for them. So it's the least I can do is to thank them. I mean, and hey, if they ever see this, you got 10 years worth of material. There's not many TV shows that last 10 years. And the fact that, especially in the beginning, they were doing it on every week, and it was, in the beginning, like 2, 3, 4 hours long. You got to talk to John Carpenter, you got to talk to George Romero, you got to talk to Tom Savini, even if he was a dick. You got to talk to a lot of people. You got to get your picture taken with Jamie Lee Curtis at that one event. You have to talk to your friends with Michael Felsher, who does uh, DVD Blu-rays and such. You got to have a DVD made of you, a documentary. Not many people just say they had a documentary made of them. And I still have it over in my other room, the Deadpit, and also have the On the Road. And even video-wise, I remember my favorite one would be the Rob Zombie's Halloween. Just the look after seeing it, as if they went through, Vietnam. And sort of their experience as talking about really does seem like they were in the shit. And if you're in the theater seeing a Rob Zombie Halloween film, you definitely are in the shit. But you know, I had to say at least a few words about that. Thank you guys for the 10 years worth of material. Thank you for all the times you made me laugh and chuckle. Thank you for always treating me like a human being. I don't remember a time where they were rude to me, and they were always cool with me. Uh, thank you for having a great show. The best horror talk radio show, the only horror talk radio show, Deadpit. And I'll put the link down below. You can listen to all their old stuff from the beginning, which when I get time, I want to do from the very beginning. It's a shame, but again, as life goes, and sometimes it's just stuff that happens. It's natural. It's one of those things that you see all these other people that get paid for this stuff. I wish that Deadpit honestly should have been guys that got paid for what they did. I'm just gonna be flat out honest. I see all these people that get paid for doing the stuff they started doing, and but then they got sort of pushed off to the side. And I guess in a way they're sort of the John Carpenter of horror talk radio. The guy, is we think of as the best, but he gets shit on, and maybe Uncle Bill and Creepy Detective will now, when they get older, just smoke weed and play video games like John Carpenter. Just like, fuck it. But, that's just how it is, and real life had to catch up with everybody, and pretty much just want to say thank you very much. Thank you for the memories, and Vaya Con Dios. Take care, and for folks out there, feel free to give them a listen to down below at their website, deadpit.com. And you go in the archives, listen to their old shows. I definitely recommend their first show, just because, just to see how they began. And again, two guys from Kentucky, and all the people to meet, all the people to be a part of. You got to be on the DVD documentary of Madman, one of your favorite slasher movies. You got to be on. You got this close to being on a Friday the 13th commentary, part 5. Not many people could get that close. You got to have a documentary made of yourself. So you guys accomplished a lot in 10 years. You just didn't get no money for it, which is bullshit. But I've said this many times before, but I always repeat myself. Thanks for the memories. Take care. And maybe we'll see you down the road. Take care, Deadpit. Vaya Con Dios. And see you.